Well, hey there friends, it's Mandy with Sweetly Home, and if this is your first time here, welcome! Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today I am hooking up with YouTube Mommy Meetup group again for another monthly collab. This collaboration is all about budget-friendly ideas. So you could share a budget-friendly tip or some frugal idea that you have or how you budget. Anything in between, and there are 30 days of videos, and there are several of us who are doubled up on days, so there are going to be around maybe 60 tips and videos that you can watch in different channels, lots of really good stuff, so I'm really excited about it. So today I wanted to share with you a really budget-friendly sort of meal that you can make very inexpensively, and it will last and stretch over days and days and days. And that is homemade broth. And homemade broth can be used in other recipes, but what we like to mainly use it for is for like turkey soup or chicken soup. And I have found that this meal has been able to be stretched for several days. We have it for dinners and lunches, and then there's so much left over that I actually freeze a good portion of it for later. Right now we are actually in a season of time where my husband isn't working. He is in between jobs. The nature of his business, there are ebbs and flows with his working schedule, and right now in the winter there's a season where he just hasn't been working for the past few weeks. So this is not a new situation for us. This happens quite a bit, again, just the nature of his job. So we have what we like to call feast and famine times, and right now we are in a famine time, and one way that we can really protect our bottom line is to make sure that our grocery budget is very small, but that it is still really healthy, and that we are doing the most bang with our buck. So this soup idea is one that we like to use that will really stretch things out. So I filmed this a little while ago, and I used the turkey carcass from Christmas dinner. You could also use fryer chickens. So if you go like to Walmart or Crisco and get one of their rotisserie chickens, and then you've had that meal, you can use that carcass and then go ahead and make soup out of it. You can also use, like, when turkey's a really great price around the holidays, pick up a couple turkeys and really maximize that turkey and use your budget well. The really great thing about soups is that you can also use vegetables that you have in your fridge or your freezer, like frozen vegetables, that maybe were on the brink of going bad. And the great thing is that you can toss them into a stock and create this delicious, healthy, really beautiful, rich soup that your family can enjoy for a really long time. So, without further ado, I'm going to jump into the video and share with you my process from start to finish about how I make soup for my family. Thank you so much for watching. Again, make sure to check the link down below for a playlist of all the videos. I'm anxious to go through it all and see all of the tips, because like I said, we are in a season of time where, we are looking to save as much money as possible. So, hope you guys are having a really great day. Thank you so much, and on to the video. Okay, so I'm going to start with my celery. I've already washed it and made sure to get all of the dirt off. You really want to make sure to get into the ribs really well to make sure that all of the dirt is out of your vegetables, especially your celery. All of that dirt will actually go into your soup, and that's just gross. So I'm just going to chunk up my celery into large chunks to fit into the pot. And like this, I'll just throw right in, leaves and all. Again, I just like to inspect to make sure that I've got all the dirt off of everything and that there aren't really any bad spots. I'll just cut that in half. So then I'm going to put a whole onion in. Now, I've already removed the outer paper. Again, that outer paper is pretty dirty. And then I'm going to cut off the butt end, because I don't want this in my soup either. I'm just going to quarter my onion and throw that in. I'm going to break up the pieces just a smidge. And then I've got my garlic. So I actually have four cloves of garlic here. So I just went ahead and smashed my garlic to kind of release some of the aromatics. Now to smash your garlic, all you want to do is just lay it down on your mat, place your knife over top, and you're going to smack the top of your knife like that. And then you have smashed garlic. I like the flavor of garlic, and I like to use a lot of garlic in my cooking, so 4 cloves is great for me. So next I have the baby carrots. So I am just going to dump a big handful into my pot. Now if you had regular carrots, I would just cut off any of the butt ends, especially kind of the tail ends. Make sure that they're not super bruised or anything like that, and then I would just kind of dump them straight in. Of course, wash them first. That kind of goes without saying. Wash your carrots first. So I actually think I'm going to put my whole bag in, and that's really about 3/4 of a bag. And that is kind of it for the vegetables for me. I don't have anything else on hand that I think could enhance my soup, so I'm just going to kind of leave it as is. Now I'm going to add some of my spices. So these are 2 of the spices that I like to use. This is, I think it's called marjoram or marjoram. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. My father-in-law always calls it marjoram, but I'm pretty sure it's more like marjoram. I don't know though. And then sage. This is ground sage. I actually would prefer it not to be ground, but this is kind of just what we have on hand. So I don't really measure. I just kind of eyeball, and I dump quite a lot in. So one of the things about soup that people do is they really under-season it. Now, you're going to have to imagine that this stock pot here is going to be filled up with water, probably about to this area right here. And you need to flavor all of that water to make sure that what you're giving to people isn't just hot water, and you want it to be flavorful and hearty and delicious. So I dump quite a significant amount of my seasonings as well as my salt and pepper into my soup. I don't want to have to pour myself a bowl of soup and then have to add a bunch of seasoning or salt to the water. Chef Mario Batali has often said that when you make pasta, you want the water to taste like the sea. So meaning that you're going to put enough salt into that water to make the water taste salty, because that in turn will flavor your pasta. So I kind of go with that principle with my soup as well. So I want a lot of salt and a lot of flavor and a lot of spices. So also use basil. You could add Italian seasoning if you like that sort of a flavor. Really, it is up to you as what your preference would be. Parsley would be another one. Yeah, so there's a lot of different flavor combinations that you could do. This is just what I like. I think sage and turkey goes really good together. So now I'm going to add my salt and my pepper. So I am almost out of my black pepper. I do have more in my cupboard, but I think that I will probably end up using my entire bit of pepper for this soup. And then I use pink Himalayan sea salt, and this I got from Crisco. This is a really high mineralized salt, so this is wonderful. You could certainly use table salt or even just the white sea salt. But I love the pink. It's very salty, and it's just, again, full of lots of really great minerals. So that is the beauty of soup, is that you are creating something that's so full of vitamins and minerals and good stuff for your body. There's a reason that they say to have soup, like chicken noodle soup, when you're sick, and it's because of all of that good broth is filled with vitamins and minerals and things that are just so good for you and so healing. So we want to make sure that we are using the best quality ingredients that we can get to make this soup the most nourishing that it can be for us. I'm going to get out the turkey, and we're going to work through that, and then we'll get our soup on. So what I've done is I pulled out my turkey bones, and I pulled out another bowl here, and inside I'm just putting the good turkey meat. This will actually go into the soup after I am done making the broth. I've already put a bunch of, let's see if you can see that. I've already put a bunch of the carcass already in, and then I'm just finishing going through this bowl of bones and meat. We'd kind of already pre-done this once we were cleaning up from Christmas, from Christmas dinner. So we kind of did go ahead and pull off a lot of that good meat. So that is what's on top, and then kind of everything that's on the bottom here is stuff that can go into the pot. And I like to save the best pieces of meat for the soup so that when you're eating it, like you're getting the best stuff, right? Like that's what you want. So I still have some more turkey in the fridge, like the good stuff, that I will use later once we actually make the soup. So there. This is what everything kind of looks like inside. So I'm going to fill this with water, and then I'm going to put it on my stove to simmer, and you're going to let it simmer for a couple hours. You want your whole house to smell aromatic and delicious and wonderful and mouth-watering. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get it on the stove. I'm going to turn it on about medium-low and just let it sit for the next few hours. Okay, so it's several hours later, and my soup is ready to be strained. So this is what it looks like. Smells delicious. My daughter even came in wondering what I was cooking. So we are going to strain the bones, just all of the vegetables, all of the junk out of here, so that what we're left with is a delicious broth. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stick it in the fridge, and then all of the fat will congeal, and then you'll scrape off the fat, and then you'll be left with a not as fatty broth. So I've got my pot here in my sink. So this is my regular stock pot, and it is about half of the size of the stock pot that I have on the stove. So my liquid is going to quickly max out this stock pot. So I'm going to need another container on hand. I've been doing my dishes, and so I have this big white bowl on standby to transfer my broth in as well. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put a strainer on top of your pot to hold the carcass and the vegetables and all of that. So I've got my largest strainer here, and it's going to hold everything. And partway through I will switch out, I'll dump the carcass and the vegetables into the garbage, and then I will switch into this bowl here. Okay, so we have 3 big delicious bowls of broth. This bowl wasn't quite large enough, so I had to pull out another one. And then of course my stock pot wasn't as big enough either. But this is going to yield a ton of amazing soup. The last time I did this, we had soup for days, and I even froze a bunch of it. So one thing that I decided to do was I fished out the bones and the vegetables out with this pasta scooper. It made my pot significantly lighter and easier to pour. So I did that after I filled the first stock pot, and then it made these 2 bowls a lot easier. I pulled my garbage can right out, right near my pot, and I was able to just dump everything very easily. So I'm going to let this cool for a little bit. We're going to have some dinner and play some games, and then I'll come back to this later. Pop these in the fridge, and then later tomorrow I will scoop off the fat, and then we will talk about how to make soup. So it's the following day, and what I've done is I went ahead and I strained off the fat from my bowls and my stock pot. And then what I went ahead and did was I filled my pot with vegetables and the turkey. So inside are green beans and corn, broccoli, cauliflower. I believe that's it. I just went through my freezer and found a bunch of frozen vegetables. You could also add diced celery and diced carrots. I just went with what I had on hand. You could also add barley or orzo or even broken spaghetti noodles into your soup to add like a noodle type element to it. So I went ahead and simmered everything so it was nice and hot. We are going to have soup for supper tonight, and I made just some refrigerated crescent rolls. But I'm going to leave a recipe down in the down bar for some biscuits that my mom used to always make. They're very easy and very frugal because you just use like flour and butter and just ingredients that you have on hand, so you don't need to buy anything separate. So that is what we're going to do for our dinner. Again, this soup could be paired with a salad or a piece of like chicken or something like that. Now this pot is so big that we will actually portion off some of this into the freezer, and we will have it for later on. So we'll probably have some fresh soup in the fridge for the next couple days to eat for lunch and maybe as a side to dinner. And then I will ladle soup into freezer bags and just lay them flat in the freezer so that you are not taking up a lot of space. And then I'll also freeze some in individual portions for my husband's lunch and also for myself for lunch. So that is my frugal, easy way to make a plethora of food to last you for a very long time. A really budget-friendly sort of meal. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check down below for lots more links to other YouTubers who are making some really great budget videos. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye!